What's up, everybody? It's Gary V, and this is the Sports Card Strategy Show, because you know this, there is no off-season.
No off-season! When you get into this game, the reason why you pay someone like Paul Hickey to get your sports card strategy together is because when you're starting out, you need perspective, you need wisdom, you need insights. And so he's been around the track enough times where he can actually coach you up and guide you. Doesn't mean he's going to take you to the promised land tomorrow, but you now have a coach by your side that can advise and kind of even create these pathways where you can get the education yourself. And that's a lot better than thugging it out on your own.
What? The kids better buy my rookie card now, because after this year, the price ain't coming down.
Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Paul Hickey. It's time to sit back, listen, learn, and earn with me on the Sports Card Strategy Show. Hurry up. We are capping our membership at nooffseason.com to only 500 paid members, and there are only 55 spots remaining after last week's announcement. So go to nooffseason.com right now. Make sure you get in and don't miss this opportunity to be part of the best sports card flipping community with the best tools to help you make money flipping sports cards. On today's show, we talk about data-driven sports card investing, of course, the top NFL QBs to buy, raw, and grade for the 2026 NFL playoffs. I was right about Wemby. After an amazing season debut with 40 points, 15 rebounds, super efficient play in only 30 minutes, and a blowout win at Dallas. Wemby's card prices are soaring over the last 14 days. Do you sell Wemby now? We're going to talk about that. We're going to launch centering school today, how to find the right centering landmarks on various cards. We're going to start with a card that has done very well for a lot of our premium members at nooffseason.com. We'll get into that from a raw to grade standpoint. We'll talk about the impact of the World Series teams on eBay searches. That's a lot of data we like to go through. We'll talk about, did we buy or did we fade NBA Tops Now plays? We knew this was going to be coming. And sure enough, the NBA, now that the licensing is back with Topps has put together quite a few Topps Now cards of the first week of the NBA season. Did we buy or did we fade? What should you do if you haven't made a decision yet? We'll get into that. And then, of course, data-driven sports card decisions. Most searched athletes in our raw to grade tool at nooffseason.com and our card analyzer and predictor tool at nooffseason.com. And we had the last Cooper Flagg print on demand play for the year. Is it the last? Is it not the last? We'll get into that. In the interest of keeping our strategies and plays exclusive to a small group of premium members, we are capping our total premium membership number to 500 paid members at any given time. Many of you have listened to the Sports Card Strategy Show for a long time now and have thought about subscribing, but have been waiting. I'm here to tell you that your wait is over. Don't let someone else grab your spot. nooffseason.com helps you make real profits flipping sports cards with insider data, proven strategies, and exclusive access to undervalued cards before the rest of the market catches on. We're not a course. We're a closed community of 500 serious sports card investors working smarter, not guessing, in a data-driven sports card market. We have two features that are launching very shortly in the next month. My Athletes, the My Athletes feature is going to be a great utility to help you bookmark athletes that you want to be bidding on and help you find their top auctions at any given time. And then Sell Alerts. Sell Alerts is a critical feature that we will be launching in the next month. As of now, we only have 55 spots remaining, so get in now. All right, our first segment of the day, top NFL QBs to buy, raw, and grade for the 2026 NFL playoffs. As many of you know, we are always adding cards to our player rankings at nooffseason.com. We have a raw to grade formula. There's a calculator for that, but even better, we run cards through our formula all the time, and then our rankings ranks them by ROI percentage. If you were to buy them in bulk, let's say just two or more cards, what is the ROI percentage that you're likely to make? So here's what we did. There's some quarterbacks right now that, based on the NFC power rankings from across the NFL experts and the records, there are some quarterbacks that we see opportunities to buy raw and grade their cards. And not all cards are created equal when buying raw and grading them. And what I mean by that is, even though you might see a card that looks like it could gem, it doesn't mean that there's upside in PSA 10. And even though there might be upside in PSA 10, the card that you're trying to buy might have an extremely low gem rate. It might be very, very hard to get a gem mint grade. So that's why our sports card rankings are an amazing cheat sheet for you. And so I'm going to pull some data, some cards from our sports card rankings for you right now so you can get a taste. All right. And I like to start with 4 NFC QBs and then 1 AFC QB for now. We're going to start with going all the way back to 2016, Jared Goff. And this is a tough one because you're going all the way back to 2016. But as you'll see in a minute, when we launch our centering school here in the next segment, we've had cards where you can go all the way back to 2001. You can go all the way back to 2017, and you can find cards that will gem. And we have had people do that. We've had premium members at nooffseason.com do that because we do grade your cards for premium members. We provide a PSA, BGS, CGC, and SGC grading service. We help you track your gem rate and all that good stuff. So it is possible. And we do have resources at nooffseason.com that help you find cards that are gradable online on eBay. Okay. Jared Goff. One thing is, you might want to look at his Optic Hollow. You might want to look at his Prism Silver from 2016. But, what about his Donruss? Well, his Donruss, there's not enough upside in a PSA 10. So it's not even worth grading. For his Optic Hollow, what's interesting about that is it's a $25 card raw. It has $162 upside in a PSA 10. And his Prism Silver is a $31 card raw, and it has close to $200 upside in a PSA 10. So based on those factors and the gem rate for each card, they're both about a 40% ROI, which is really, really good. His Prism Silver is a 47% ROI. So if you can find gradable copies of either of these two cards online for the target cost, and it's a big if because I've done some searches and there's not many available, but nooffseason.com is a nice shortcut to help you get there quicker. You can make some serious money raw to grade on Jared Goff. And again, this is October, right? This is October. So could the Lions be fighting for a Super Bowl appearance by the time you get these cards back? They could be. And if they are, there's probably more upside than the 40 and 47% ROI. Now, you take a look at the team like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield going to 2018, and you might be trying to make a decision between his Prism base PSA 10, his Prism base raw from 2018, his Optic base raw from 2018, or his Donruss base raw from 2018. And again, this is where our sports card rankings are an amazing cheat sheet for you. Here's why. You might automatically think, well, Prism or Optic over Donruss, right? Well, not in the case of Baker Mayfield, and here's why. His Prism 2018 base 201 is a $14 card. It only has $94 upside in a PSA 10. His Donruss base paper card is an $11.45 card raw, and it has a $96 upside in a PSA 10, and it has so much higher of a gem rate that you are likely to make 62% ROI on a raw to grade play. So again, if you were to buy, say, 5 of those versus 5 of the Prism, you're likely to make 62% on the Donruss raw to grade versus losing a percent on the Prism. That's right, losing a percent on the Prism. Now, his Optic base, you can make 2%, but it's a $38 card versus the Donruss base, just an $11.50 card. So the Optic base, this is what's interesting. $126 upside in a PSA 10, not that much different than the $96 upside of the Donruss. So when you factor in, if you're going to buy multiple of these, you're going to pay a lot less for the Donruss than you are for the Optic if you're buying multiple, and you have a higher chance at a PSA 10. So out of all the Baker Mayfield cards, you want to go raw to grade with his Donruss base 2018. So it's different in each scenario, right? Goff, you want the Prism Silver. And Mayfield, you want the Donruss base paper, which is super interesting. That's what I love about our formula. Okay, 2 more NFC quarterbacks that could be in the mix for a Super Bowl appearance. Jalen Hurts, Jalen Hurts, the defending champ, right? And what a great player he is. Now, his 2020 Optic Hollow is the card from a raw to grade standpoint in terms of all of his achievable and desirable cards. Remember, we like to talk about the intersection between achievability and desirability. It's not his Prism base. It's not his Prism Silver. It's not his Optic. It's his Optic Hollow 164. It's a $45 card raw. It has $178 upside. And you can bet that if he's leading the Eagles back into a Super Bowl after the holiday dip, that this card's going to go up to over $200 in a PSA 10 easily. So in that regard, it doesn't make it a horrible buy in a PSA 10, but here's the deal. It's going to have to double for you to make actual profit on that. I would rather see you raw to grade, use our centering tool, use our card analyzer and predictor tool at nooffseason.com, use our video resources, pick out the right ones, win them in eBay auctions around that $45 buy-in point, and make 17% ROI. Now, again, you're going to make a lot more than 17% ROI if he does lead the Eagles to a Super Bowl appearance. Jalen Hurts 2023 Optic Downtown. Now, this is a non-rookie card, so it's a little bit more achievable, but it's still desirable because it's a case hit. Has a high gem rate, $526 entry point, $1,315 upside in a PSA 10. The formula-based sports card rankings at nooffseason.com. Love that. 15% ROI. Okay, now the other NFC quarterback that I want to talk about is Jordan Love. The Packers are freaking good, okay? And if Jordan Love leads them to a Super Bowl run, his cards will go absolutely berserk. Now, the 2 cards that you can make money on of his right now from a raw to grade standpoint, his 2020 Prism Silver is a $90 card. That's pretty affordable for a Prism Silver. It's got almost a $700 upside in a PSA 10. $690.59 is its average in the last 30 days. Based on the gem rate, 41% ROI. I love that play. That might be my favorite play out of all the ones that I've talked about so far. Why? Because Jalen Hurts already been to a Super Bowl. Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, older cards. Jordan Love, you can go back and get his cards. Higher gem rate, higher accessibility rate because they printed more of them. However, 41% ROI with the Prism Silver, and that fucker is going to go up huge if he makes a playoff run, because he's never really made. I mean, he kind of made a playoff run a couple of years ago when they lost at San Francisco after winning in the wild card round. But I mean, if he wins a couple of playoff games, look out. He doesn't have to do that much. That's why I like Jordan Love. Jordan Love 2020 Optic Hollow Raw is another one. It's a $46 card, so it's half the price of the Prism Silver, but half the upside, 19% ROI. All right? Now, the guy that I like out of the AFC, this should be no surprise, kind of Captain Obvious pick, Patty Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, our sports card rankings love his Donruss base from 2017, the rated rookie. $190 entry point. So it's going to get you in just under the authenticity guarantee. So you got to be a little bit careful with that, because the authenticity guarantee doesn't protect you if you get a fake or a trimmed or something like that. But there is $1,100 upside in a PSA 10. And because of that, and the gem rate, which is pretty solid, 45% ROI. So those are our top QBs to buy raw and grade for the 2026 NFL playoffs, taking into consideration the fact that, we want winners, we want potential winners, but we don't need to be picking the guy who takes us to the Super Bowl. Why? Because these are raw to grade plays, and we're going to win if we pick out gradable cards and we get them for the target cost. Now, our sports card rankings at nooffseason.com helps you get to the punchline quicker by looking at the ROI number. So it's a great tool. nooffseason.com helps you make real profits, flipping sports cards with insider data, proven strategies, and exclusive access to undervalued cards before the rest of the market catches on. Again, we're not a course. We're a closed community of 500 serious sports card investors working smarter together, not guessing in a data-driven sports card market. Ready to secure your edge? Visit nooffseason.com now to find out how many more membership spots are available, because as people are listening to this, it's going to be a lot less than 55. So go get in there right now. All right. I'm super excited to launch this next segment, which is called Centering School. And what we're going to do is I want to go over, because we've had a lot of questions from premium members at nooffseason.com who have used our card analyzer and predictor tool and love it, about, okay, how do you find landmarks for centering on a card that doesn't really have like actual defined borders? And the perfect example of this is Aaron Judge 2017 Topps 287 base, because this card has a pretty high gem rate, and not only that, but a very high success rate among nooffseason.com premium members who have used our sports card rankings to buy this card, prioritize this card, win it in auctions, and then send it in to us for grading at PSA. So I know that firsthand that a lot of our members have done well on this play. And with Aaron Judge now being knocked out of the MLB playoffs and into his personal offseason, it's probably a time when you can go ahead and get some better deals on Aaron Judge auctions. And so when you use our card analyzer and predictor tool at nooffseason.com, you select a few of the most recent sold listings, chart them. It's going to tell you the average sale in the last, among the cards that you've chosen, which in this case is $29.82. Might be a little bit different than the average in the last 30 days of our rankings. Now, of course, you can click find deals here if you want to buy them. But what we're doing here in Centering School is we're going to analyze the card. So what you're going to do is upload a picture of the front and the back of the card. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to use actual PSA 10s because I want to walk you through the process here in Centering School of what landmarks that PSA has chosen as the landmarks in a non-bordered card. Now, a bordered card, I think, like a Prism or an Optic or a Donruss or like a Topps Chrome, the borders on those are a lot easier to find. But this is a card, as you can see here, that does not have very defined centering landmarks because there's no clear border of the card. So what do? Our process is take a PSA 10, run it through our centering tool, and then drag it to landmarks that you think would make sense for that, close to that 50-50 centering. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to pick the top of the Topps logo, the T, from the inside edge of the centering tool, and I'm going to pick the outside edge of the centering tool and put it on the card. I think that's the most important thing when you look at that. Now, here's the landmark that we don't really know. Is it the bottom of the bat in the Yankees logo? I think it could be it. So here you see top bottom centering 54-46. Now, maybe I'm not quite on the edge of the card. There's 52-48. Maybe I'm closer to the edge of the card there on the top. So now we're within the PSA 52-48 centering for a PSA 10. So those I think would be the landmarks that I've seen. Now here's 53-47. I think it might just be where is my cursor to the top of the card in the centering tool. But I think I'm damn near close to that top of the card there within the PSA 10 slab. And now we just need to find what are the centering landmarks left, right on the card. Now, to me, it looks like it's going to be, we're working with the Topps logo here. So we're going to go to the inside portion of our centering tool. We're going to go to the corner of the S in the Topps logo on the right-hand side of the card. And then we're going to go to the edge of the card. It's important to drag it to the edge of the card. Now, sometimes if you're looking at a raw card, because the next thing you would do is you'd run the raw card through the centering tool. that you're looking to potentially purchase online. And I would highly recommend that everybody do that before you buy the card. But if you're looking at the raw card, it's going to be very similar to this. A lot of times the picture isn't as straight on in an eBay listing or a photo that you would see from someone that you want to buy a card from online. However, you can still use the centering tool and drag it to the edge of the card. And as long as you're staying consistent on the top and the bottom and on the right and the left-hand side, it's going to give you the centering you need. So now the question is, with what's the other centering landmark? Well, based on this PSA 10, I think it's going to be the left-hand side of the outfield position character, right? And then the edge of the card. And there you see 47, 53, and 53, 47 top bottom. So from a centering standpoint, on this Aaron Judge front, which is going to be more important than the back, those appear to be the landmarks. Now, when we upload the back, it might be a little bit more straightforward, because what we're going to do is drag the inside of the centering tool to the T in tops, to the corner of the T in tops. We're going to drag the outside of the centering tool to the edge of the card. Then there is a Major League Baseball Players Association logo that we're going to align. And we're just going to see, like, does that make it the centering? And top bottom 50-50. So there you go. Those are your landmarks. So now what you would do is you would look for cards online, run them through our centering tool at nooffseason.com like this. And I'm going to go to the edge of the 7 on the right-hand side of the back, and then the edge of the card. And there you go, 49-51. So those have to be the centering landmark. So when you buy a raw, or before you buy a raw card online, run them through our centering tool and use these landmarks for this Aaron Judge card. Now, for other cards, we'll do more. Each card is different. But obviously for anything else from this release, you can use these landmarks. This is the card. This Aaron Judge 287 is the card that our sports card rankings wants you to focus on. But again, we'll have more centering school cards here at the Sports Card Strategy Show, and probably on the Premium Pod and Sports Card School at nooffseason.com for premium members. So again, when you get your grades from our centering tool, they're all 10s here. And so our centering landmarks are based on an actual PSA 10. So again, I think that is the way to figure out the centering landmarks. Look at a PSA 10, okay? And then run it through our centering tool. And the landmarks that you think are the landmarks might not be. So if I would have gotten less than a 10 on any of those centering grades, I would have had to go back to the drawing board on that card and say, all right, well, now I need to figure out, where did I go wrong on the centering landmarks? But that is the process there. And so again, at nooffseason.com, we have built these tools to help you. If you like the content on this show and want more, go premium at nooffseason.com now. Get unlimited advice from me answered on our weekly premium members only podcast called the Premium Pod. Go premium at nooffseason.com now. Again, you got to be quick, because we're capping our membership. And when we made this announcement last week, we sold a lot of premium memberships. So the spots are filling up quickly. All right, more data-driven sports card investing tips here on the Sports Card Strategy Show. I want to talk about the impact of World Series teams on eBay searches. Yes, that's right. We get data from eBay in terms of search volume increases based on performance, based on players being in the media, in this case, the World Series. So the top 5 most searched MLB players during the regular season, March through September 2025, on eBay globally were Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, Paul Skeens, Ellie De La Cruz, and Pete Crow Armstrong. So during the season, it probably meant that it was a great time to sell all of those players. Now, that data also indicates, though, these are probably all great players to look at buying during the holiday dip, for sure. All right. In September 2025, when Cal Raleigh set the record for most home runs in a season by a switch hitter, Searches for Cal Raleigh increased over 1,000% compared to March 2025 when the MLB season began. So that tells you right there that even though we know, the nooffseason.com family knows that we shouldn't be buying or searching for a player's cards when they're having that big of a performance spike, the rest of the world, the rest of the market hasn't caught on yet and is still buying cards and searching for cards during these types of performance spikes. So what do? We reverse engineer that. And we say, look, do what I just told you to do a minute ago with the football cards. All right. Go buy those guys, get their cards graded based on not just go buy them, but buy the cards I talked about. And don't go buy any copy of them. Buy ones that are potentially going to grade well based on the centering school that I just walked you guys through. So use the tools that we have provided you to buy the right cards. Now, if you get a card and it's not what you thought it was going to be, you can always sell it raw. But we want you to be able to buy raw cards that are going to potentially grade well, and then be holding the cards during these types of markers where the eBay search volume goes up, because this continues to happen. So using the World Series as an example here, you could do this right now if you're looking to make money leading up to the NFL playoffs. Okay, back to the baseball data. Searches for several rookies spiked in the final month of the season following impressive debuts, which compared to the beginning of the season. So these search volume numbers are in September compared to the beginning of the season, making it interesting to take a look at moving forward in future Septembers. Do we look to sell rookies in September, or do we look to sell rookies in or prospects in March? All right. Cam Schlitter. Searches for Cam Schlitter increased over 7,900%. That's crazy. Isaac Collins searches increased over 3,700%. Jonah Tong searches increased over 1,600%. Nolan McLean over 1,500%. Nick Kurtz, who was hot all year, increased over 640%. Cade Horton over 630%. The Miz, Jacob Mizorowski, over 550%. And Trey Yesavage over 550%. So what does that tell us? It tells us that there were a lot of rookies that people wanted to prospect on in September, and they had call ups, and so the call up as a selling marker still doing pretty well. Might not be the best one based on the scenario, but the call up as a selling marker still doing pretty well. Are you ready to start grading your cards? CGC Cards is the perfect place to slab your favorite sports cards. From their crystal clear holders to their affordable pricing, CGC Cards is the perfect stop for your grading needs. Go to cgccards.com to start grading today. Remember that nooffseason.com is the only place on the planet with sports card rankings. We talked about them earlier, updated in real time, sorted by the ROI percentage you're likely to make in the future. And of course, when you click on each card in our rankings, it takes you to auctions ending soonest for that card. Where serious flippers get their edge, your competitive advantage in the sports card market. Membership limited to just 500 people. Once we're full, we're full. Visit nooffseason.com right now to get one of our final remaining spots. All right, one play we've talked about on the Sports Card Strategy Show for years now has been the print-on-demand play. I know as a fact that we are the only content creators in the hobby here at the Sports Card Strategy Show that really have talked about these print-on-demand plays for the last several years and have made a ton of money on them. So you're welcome for that. And we knew this one was coming. Topps Now NBA print-on-demand cards. The first week of the NBA season was last week, and we knew this was coming. With Topps taking over the licensing rights to the NBA through Fanatics, they're pumping out these Topps Now cards now, and they're licensed, so they're way better. The photos, I think, are better than the Panini Instant stuff. The designs, I think, are better than the Panini Instant stuff. But here's the deal. Does that mean that we can make money on these? I think we have to take each one of these on a case-by-case basis. Cooper Flagg, this is like his 30th print on demand card. And it's already like his 10th in a pro uniform. So we got to be careful here. We really got to start being careful with Cooper Flagg. Now, this is over. This was available until Saturday, October 25th. Today is obviously Monday, okay, October 27th. So look, I know you can't buy these now, but I wanted to talk about it anyway. Because if you bought any of these, I think you need to be careful. I think you need to probably stop at this point. I will say I bought 20, so a 20-pack jiggler. I call it the jiggler because it jiggles around in the plastic case that Topps sends to you. I bought a 20-pack. Now, by the time, so when you look at these, you got to do the math, okay? Because if you buy one card, it's a $12 card. If you buy 20, they're $8.50 per card, but they're actually more like $10 a card because tax, shipping. All right. Now I had some Topps Now points that I redeemed, but it was only $10 worth of points. So at the end of my checkout, these were each $9 a card for me. So I spent $9 per card on 20 cards. So it's about $180. And then I had to factor in the grading fee. So we're going to be looking at about $25 a card because I add the shipping back fees on each card. So we're going to be about $34 into each of these cards. So now I'm in a situation where I need to sell these for probably $50 to $55 each to make a profit, to make any kind of profit on these if I'm selling them on eBay or through the PSA Vault offers. And it's going to be close, I think, because the Topps Now Draft Night cards right now are only selling for about $30 to $40 a piece in PSA 10. So the prices are coming down on those. Obviously, the Panini Instant Draft Night PSA 10s are selling for around $130, $150 a piece, which is great. I'm hoping to get my grades back on those soon so that I can just accept PSA offers and massively profit. But there's a problem. There's going to be a lot more of these Topps Now cards that are going to come out for Cooper Flagg. And so the market's going to get extremely saturated. Now you do have a chance at parallels. So, none of us are going to get lucky and get this one of one. I can promise you that. But there are other parallels that you could get. So you could get out of 99 green foil, out of 50 gold foil. These are called the lucky hits. Out of 25 orange foil, out of 10 black foil, out of 5 red foil, one of one foil fractor. There's the redemption card with the inscribed NBA debut. That thing will be worth a ridiculous amount of money. So there is a chance, but the chances are, we're going to get, if you're buying a jiggler of these, you're getting 20 base cards. So you have to play it as, your profit margins are going to be slim here. Now, I think, as slim as they are on Flagg, they're going to be even slimmer on Dylan Harper, Ace Bailey, Con Knipple. Victor Wembanyama is not a rookie card, so don't fall for that one. Same with like Anthony Edwards. VJ Edgecombe is an interesting rookie. It's too expensive of a base card to make money on, considering the print run is going to be pretty incredible on these. And I hope to God that you didn't buy any of the veterans like SGA, Luka, Kevin Durant, Şengün, the Oklahoma City Thunder with their rings. Like those are just trash cards. So I really, really hope that you guys didn't buy those. The point of this is that this is the last Cooper Flagg print on demand card that I would recommend. If you bought it, I think you can make some money on it. And then of course, if you get a lucky hit, then you're definitely in the black on that. You're definitely making money, but again, I don't anticipate any of us getting lucky hits. That's something that you don't need to be factoring into your decision. What you need to factor into your decision is the math. We're going to need to get these cards to the market very quickly, everyone, to be able to make money on them. All right, next thing I want to do is look at some data from nooffseason.com. So pulling data from the formula calculator and then from the card analyzer and predictor tool. And this this tells us, okay, who are the members at nooffseason.com? The top flippers in the hobby, because they have access to the best community ever at nooffseason.com and the best tools ever. Who are they searching for? Who are you all searching for as premium members? And from a raw to grade standpoint, let's look at that first. So this is one of our tools at nooffseason.com, the back end of it, the raw to grade grading calculator. Michael Jordan is definitely at the top of this list. Interesting names here. If you recall, Amen Thompson was a big name the last time that we revealed this data about a month ago. He's still up towards the top. Same with Lamar Jackson. I think he is a interesting buy right now as well. Bobby Witt Jr. is up at the top. Luka Doncic is up at the top. There's some Tom Brady interest in raw to grade. But definitely Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Aaron Judge, Jaden Daniels, Anthony Edwards, Luka, Lamar, and Amen Thompson, Bobby Witt. All right. That's the data. And there you have it. Now, the other tool at nooffseason.com that is important to look at is what cards are members running through the card analyzer and predictor tool. So this gives us an indication of cards that people are looking to buy, cards that people are looking to grade, and cards that people own that they're looking to figure out what to do with. Definitely Aaron Judge has been at the top of this list this past month. Aaron Judge far and away is the number one athlete that has been run through our card analyzer and predictor tool. Michael Jordan is the next athlete. Shohei Ohtani is definitely up there. And a lot of Cooper Flagg, a lot of VJ Edgecombe, Jordan Love, Kobe Bryant, of course, and some Paolo Banchero. Drake May is a big one. Brandon Miller is also a big one. I think because his Prism Silver Raw is a top card in our sports card rankings, and none other than LeBron James. But definitely Aaron Judge, Michael Jordan, some surprising names like Brandon Miller. VJ Edgecombe is an interesting one. Wasn't expecting to see him on there, but the data doesn't lie, everybody. The data doesn't lie. So I like that. Now, other guys, I talked about Victor Wembanyama early on in the show as a guy that you can, his price is up. All right. So what's the takeaway from that? And I think the takeaway is, and this is my parting shot for the Sports Card Strategy Show today, it's to use the first week of the NBA season as a big selling marker. It's to buy during the holiday dip in auctions. It's to buy during the NBA offseason in auctions for the top players, and then use the first week only of the NBA season as a selling marker for the top guys. And the data has proven me right here. Victor Wembanyama, Prism Silver PSA 10 is up $295 over the last 14 days. He's got a plethora of cards that are up more than $100 over the last 14 days. Another guy, SGA put up 55 in a double OT win on Thursday night. His Prism Silver PSA 10 is up $259 over the last 14 days. And what about Steph Curry? Steph Curry putting up 42 in a big win over Denver at home on Thursday night as well. He has a plethora of cards that are up more than $100 over the last 14 days. His 2009 Topps Base 231 PSA 9, which is a pop 1561, is up $251 over the last 14 days. I believe in this order, the best guys to sell now and buy back into are Victor Wembanyama, SGA, and Steph Curry. I could see you holding Steph Curry, but I could also see you utilizing this spike in interest during the first week of the NBA season. I've looked at the historical data. I've been doing this for a long time. The pattern recognition proves true. And again, I am data driven. All right. These three guys you can sell now and buy back into. Think about it. Holiday dip coming up. Looking forward to the holiday dip party. More on that to come. And again, everybody, please do me a favor. Get in one of the final spots at nooffseason.com. I'd love to spend time with you over there. Have a great day. Thanks so much for being here with us on the Sports Card Strategy Show. If you enjoyed the content on today's show, there's plenty more waiting for you at nooffseason.com. Just go to nooffseason.com right now. You get our formula-based sports card rankings, sports card school, inventory tracker, the ability to grade with us, and the premium podcast where we answer an unlimited amount of your questions. Check it out right now at nooffseason.com. For everyone at nooffseason.com, I'm Paul Hickey. Thanks again for being here with us on the Sports Card Strategy Show. We'll see you again soon. Have a great day.